So I was playing with a pretty well-known Cajun artist at a mud festival of all
Oh,
things.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, like a truck festival, like where they do all those big wheels and stuff. And the chick before us was singing, I think, Kid Rock songs, like on a karaoke or something. And I just felt the vibe. I was driving back to a hotel room, and I remembering the things I saw. I saw a car flipped over, and I finished it in the hotel room. That is one song I wrote on the road.
Welcome to the Back Catalog Listening Party, your weekly musical happy hour where musicians pick an album from their back catalog and tell the stories behind their favorite tracks in front of a live online audience.
This week we talk with Louisiana fiddler, singer, songwriter Gina Forsyth. We revisit her 2012 album Promised Land, talk about her family's unique immigration story, and dive into her varied influences, including Cajun, Celtic, rock, and old-time music. So pour a beverage, grab a snack, and kick back as we listen to music together here on the Back Catalog Listening Party, where it's always Friday and old albums never sounded better. All right. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
TGIF, baby.
That's right. Those are the vibes we want. Welcome to the Back Catalog Listening Party. My name is Mother Banjo, one of your hosts.
My name is Anthony Ihrig, the other host.
And today we have joining us from her home in Bow Bridge, Louisiana, Gina Forsyth.
Hey.
And folks are ready for the party. Connie. No,
Hey, Connie.
Hey, Connie.
Joining us from Richfield. Christopher is saying hi from Savage. Relaxing with some Andretti Sangiovese today. Looking forward to fancy.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to say, Christopher, you're putting my box wine, which is not electric pink. It's just my sweater coming through there. But it's still putting it to shame. So I'm very jealous. Send some of that over here. Alinda joining us from New Haven, Connecticut.
Yay.
Susan from Bend, Oregon.
Welcome, Susan.
And Alan joining us. Happy Fry-Hum Day, everybody. This Back Catalog Listening Party pint glass is perfect for that gin and tonic. We won't ask how much of that pint glass is filled up, but it's all good here at the Back Catalog Listening Party. Christy Kermit coming in from Grace Point Crossing in Cambridge, Minnesota. And welcome to the party, all of you.
Yes, great to have all you here.
That's right. And I think I already revealed what I'm drinking today. Tony, do you have any kind of beverage happening?
Yes, I took inspiration from a couple episodes with you. I found that Black Butte N.A. Porter from Deschutes, and I'm really excited about it. You really can't see the logo on my Back Catalog Listening Party.
That's a sign of a good beer, though. Then
yes, and as the air turns a little cooler here as we approach fall, very excited about that. Yeah. And Gina, are you enjoying a beverage or a snack of any sort here?
Well, just some of that dihydrogen oxide.
Oh, hey. Musician's choice.
Dihydrogen monoxide, or also known as water.
Yeah.
Oh, and Alan says his G&T goes to a 111. Oh, okay. I think he meant 11. Maybe
I was like, what's 111? That's really taking it to that neck. That's like 2 pint glasses.
Yeah. It's just, he's got the bottle. It's just, okay.
Well, we are so happy you guys are bringing the weekend vibes here to the Back Catalog Listening Party. We are so excited for today's show. Gina Forsyth is someone that I've been wanting to have on the show for a long time. We cross paths usually at least once a year, maybe at the Folk Alliance Regional Midwest Conference or somewhere else. But luckily our stars aligned so we could get her to join us today because she's very busy. So Gina, for folks who maybe aren't as familiar with your music, maybe you could give a brief 2-minute origin story of where you grew up and how you fell into making music.
Well, I grew up around near Mobile, Alabama. My brother and sister were both musicians, and so they taught me how to play a few tunes on the guitar, and then later on the fiddle. And I took lessons at school. They had a pretty decent music program back then, and so I played in the orchestra. And you grew up listening to all kinds of music, country and pop, and then I fell into to Louisiana music when I moved to Louisiana to go to school. And I fell into Cajun music, and a little bit later, I started writing my own songs. Just about all of them are in English. A couple are in French, but I started writing my own songs, and I made an album a few years ago, and then Promised Land was my second album. It came out around 2012. And then I later then a few years later I made an album of fiddle tunes. So
excellent.
Well, maybe we'll feature that in another back catalog.
I hope so.
Yeah.
We love some fiddle here on the back
Oh
catalog.
my God. Yeah. That fiddle player, he had on the theme song's great.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
That's Eric Christopher, amazing fiddle player here in the
so
Twin
good.
Cities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, we are really excited to feature this record, Promised Land, today on the show. But maybe you can tell us, why this album? You have a few you can choose from. Why was this the album that you wanted to talk about?
Well, I think that even after all these years, since it's been released, I think the songs are still timely, for better or for worse. It's like my first album was mostly love songs, and then my fiddle album was mostly fiddle tunes, and this one, the second album is more topical songs, but they seem to be still timely. Like Promised Land, and the album bookend with songs about immigration and the experience of being a child of immigrants. And then there was 4th of July that is now on a new compilation from Hudson Hardy Music that I think is still timely. And of course, there's at least 4 or 5 songs that are on fiddle and that are fiddle tunes. The Sparrows, which I didn't mention, I probably should have because it's a favorite. But yeah, it's one that that has been covered, and yet it was a solo fiddle album. And then there was what I did on Mardi Gras Day was just like every year, we still have Mardi Gras no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Well, we are excited to dig into all of these songs and chat more about the recording. But let's get into some music. So the first track that you picked to feature is the title track. It's also the first track that kicks off the album. Is there anything you want to say about this song before we take a listen?
Well, I had this is probably the most produced track of the whole album. I had the drummer and the bass player, Jim Barkway and Mike Barris, are people I still play with today because I play with him in a Cajun band, with a guy named Bruce Degrapont. I still play with them today, and so they played on this song. My friend Jono Frischberg is on accordion, so he did some really nice. And a guy named Stephen Randall did some percussion, and I even sang harmony with myself. And interestingly, when the album first came out, it hit number 1 on the folk DJ list.
Oh, nice!
In January 2012. Nice. Which at that time meant about 15 DJs played it. But it was enough to be number 1 at that point.
Yeah, that's great.
I gotta love it.
Love that. Well, we're excited to take a listen.
Yeah, let's give it a spin. This is the title track, Promised Land, from Gina Forsyth here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Oh, who will come and go with me, and we will sail the raging sea. Yeah, we will sail for the West Country, in the fields of the golden apple trees. Oh, sit right back and I'll tell tales all about the brave ones who set sail before the big jet planes and the cable TVs, before the days of the gated communities. Oh, the promised land on Jordan's stormy banks I stand and cast a wishful aye-aye-oh, and cast a wishful aye-aye-oh. They found a land of milk and honey in fields of someone else's money. Well, the grandkids finally got the milk and the honey. Now their kids just say, show me the money. When I was a kid, my American dream was to be the little angel at the top of the tree, where the bells would ring and the choir would sing and the congregation would all join in. Oh, the promised land on Jordan's stormy banks I stand and cast a wishful aye-aye-oh, and cast a wishful aye-aye-oh, and cast a wishful aye-oh. In the first part of a century, my grandparents sailed the raging sea and cast their eyes for the west country and dreamed of the golden apple trees. But things got bad in 33 and my grandpa sailed back for the old country. Yeah, he left my mama and the family in a backyard full of apple trees. And my grandma died when I was 3, and her sweet face I never did see in a 2-story house in a northern city. Yeah, she sailed away for the next journey. Oh, the promised land on Jordan's stormy banks I stand and cast a wishful aye-aye-oh, and cast a wishful aye-aye-oh to Canaan's fair and happy land where my possessions lie, where I can read my title clear and wipe my weeping eye, and wipe my weeping eye, and wipe my weeping eye.
Nice
Nice.
ending there. Gina Forsyth here on the back catalog listening party, Promised Land, the title track to her 2012 release, which we are revisiting today on the show, with Gina joining us live from her home in Beaubridge, Louisiana. Connie chiming in to say, great song. And I
Thank
agree.
you, Connie.
Yeah, agreed.
Powerful
first track.
Yeah. And I'm curious, obviously, talking about coming from the old country, and it definitely had sort of like an Irish look to it. Is that the old country that you're referring to, or different?
Well,
part?
that's one of them. Well,
country.
Yeah, of course, my dad's people were Scotch Irish, and they've been in this country for a couple hundred years. My mother's people were Italians, so my grandfather, this is actually a true story. My grandfather brought the his, I think he came to America first and then brought my grandmother to America from Italy. And then after the Depression, he went back to Italy.
Hmm. So is that somewhat autobiographical, some of these
Yeah.
little vignettes
Yeah.
that you were painting here? Was it a kind of an amalgamation
Yeah.
of different stories from your family, or what?
Yes. Yes. Well, actually, a lot of it was me, and it was when I was when I was a teenager. I sung in the Baptist church choir, um, and that was a thing called the Living Christmas Tree. And so I was thinking about the little angel at the top of the tree, who was usually a guy. But yeah, I did that, and then I told that story about my grandfather going back to Italy, and grandma dying in Peekskill, New York. So it was kind of like that universal story. The song started out with a phone conversation where a guy told me, where my friend told me, yeah, about 10, 15 years from now, America's going to be like something you just don't recognize. And that was, yeah,
Yep.
he was right.
Prophetic.
I mean, I cried for 3 days, and then, or a couple of days, and then I wrote the song.
Well, it really some poignant ideas, and like you said, just very relevant today, which is, I think, such a great quality of folk music, as it kind of keeps the thread going and tells the story.
Of course, musically, I was influenced by Irish music. I listened to it a lot. I didn't end up playing Irish music, but I love it, and there's that influence of the stories about people leaving the old country for America.
Yeah.
And running into these various misadventures, etc.
Well, and it's funny because, there's obviously, you could take similar stories from any number of parts of the world of people coming over, and then they come over and try and make their way, and then they try and bring their families over and try and make a go of it.
I appreciated the idea that, after, we get these hardworking immigrants, they come over and they build up this wealth and capital, and then a couple of generations later, there's a disconnect oftentimes,
right.
And I feel like we see that a lot as of late, and I just wanted to point that out. I really appreciated that part of your story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and also that, it that it doesn't always work out for people. The fact that your grandfather, after giving it a go, went back, so
Yeah.
I mean, it's not always just a one-way ticket. Sometimes goes back the other way. Well, I really loved, you were mentioning all the different people that played on that song, and I really loved the accordion and all the production on it, and that definitely added to that, that kind of Irish feel, as well as the IO, like that was a nice recurring kind of thing.
Yeah. The drummer who played on this described it as yo ho ho, like kind of like a sea shanty.
Yeah, for sure. Where was this recorded? Where did you make this?
In New Orleans. There was the studio no longer exists, but it was my friend Chris Polachek was the engineer, and I lived at the time. I lived just blocks, just 3 or 4 blocks from him, and he liked my work, he liked my songs, and he actually got the tracks together, and got the musicians, like the drummer in one room, the bass player was in the studio, plugged in, and then so he put those tracks together, and then I went to another studio, like in the French Quarter, and edited it and mixed it, and it took months to do that, and I think Jono actually recorded his accordion track and my vocal tracks came in. My harmony vocal track was at Audiophile Studios. So one was Chris Polachek's studios called Say Yes Studio, and it was on Carrollton Avenue when it was around. And then the Audiophile was in the French Quarter.
Excellent.
Which I'm not clear if that's still around, but it was a wonderful studio.
Wonderful. Well,
at the time, a guy named David Stocker did the editing, and David Stocker did the editing and mixing, and then Bruce Roper of Sons of the Never Wrong mastered the CD in Chicago. Wanted to put a good word for him. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Well, there's another Chicago connection because this album originally came out on Waterbug Records, right?
That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm.
So
I had 2 or 3 different pressings, but yeah, it's Waterbug.
Nice.
Yeah, the Waterbug, it is kind of no longer around at the moment, and all, but that they made some great music, and I was really grateful to be part of Andrew Calhoun's staple of musicians and records and recordings.
Yeah, they did a lot of great stuff with some of the artists that we've had on the show in the past too. So you mentioned that this was only your second kind of solo album, but I know you play with everybody. I mean, I feel like when I see you at Folk Alliance, you're usually sometimes you're playing your own songs, but half the time I'm seeing you just fiddle, sitting in with someone. So were you in any other, kind of regular bands before you put out this album?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Well, I've been playing with a guy named Bruce Degrabont for about 30 years, and I still play music with him. And in fact, we did a gig in New Orleans last Sunday. But he's an accordion player and he writes songs in French, and he's brilliant. I also did a thing, a trio gig with the Malvinas. They were a trio where we were kind of geographically challenged. At first they were from Texas, and then one of them moved, and now the others live up north and in Canada, and I get to see them every now and then play music with them. So, but I as far as bands, I have a pretty good ear. Usually I can hear stuff and pick out something. And so I'm on several people's albums. It's quite a list. Most of them are out of print. Nobody particularly famous, but they're famous in our circles. Yeah.
Well, I feel like anytime I see your name pop up on something, I know it's going to be good, because you not only have a good ear for the music, you have a good ear for talented songwriters. So it's always a treat to have you contribute in that way.
Hey there, would you like to be part of the live show? Well, become a member of the Back Catalog Listening Party Patreon, and you'll get a backstage pass to weekly online tapings where you can ask the artist questions and participate in the live chat with a fun community of like-minded music nerds. You'll also get a first look at upcoming guests and receive invitations to special live streams and private after parties. So join the party today at patreon.com/Back Catalog Listening Party.
Wanted to remind everyone that if you just joined the party, we're chatting with Gina Forsyth here on the Back Catalog Listening Party. We're revisiting her 2012 release, Promised Land. And if you have questions or comments as we go for Gina, feel free to throw them in the live chat. And we're going to dig into the next song, which is 4th of July. Is there anything you want to say about it before we listen?
Well, I guess I think the song speaks for itself.
Okay.
I'm not going to really say too much about it, except that it still stands up.
All right, let's give it a spin. This is 4th of July from Gina Forsyth here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
but wait for Sunday. Pray that someday all that's hidden will be in the light. Sometimes I wonder if there were others feeling like I do deep in my heart, that my country's like a lover, but me and my lover have drifted apart. Now my lover's become a stranger, and I'm a stranger to this country I was born in. Am I still free? Can you tell me? And will anything be alright in the morning? I was born here, I'm a citizen. You might say I have a dog in this fight. The people with money, they buy you whoever's getting in, but all that gold will never make it right. We got cell phones, we got the internet, but we don't seem to talk to each other anymore. And when we do talk, it sounds like we're selling something no one's buying, 'cause we're all at war. The river's deep, deep as it is wide, and that's the reason we don't hear the things we're trying to say. Send this message across the great divide, and if it reaches you, I hope we'll find a way. We got cable, we got the internet, but we don't seem to talk, and I don't know why. But I don't care how they try to spin it. We're not 9/11, we're the 4th of July. No, we're not 9/11, we're the 4th of July. No, we're not 9/11, we're the 4th of July. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, but I don't wanna wait till we all gone home. Truth be told, justice done, but I don't wanna wait till we all gone home. No, I don't wanna wait till we're done gone home. All alone on a weekend, nothing doing on a Saturday night, but wait for Sunday. Pray that someday all that's hidden will be in the light. All that's hidden will be in the light. Yeah, all that's hidden will be in the
Wow.
Yeah. Gina Forsyth with 4th of July from her album Promised Land, which it's hard to believe that came out in 2012 because, yeah, it feels
It feels so 2025.
It
I'm
really
sorry
does.
to say. It's very
Yeah, me too, actually.
You were saying what I was thinking this morning. That wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
especially the thing about people being on their phones and like, you know, obviously that's only magnified now.
The divide, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Sadly. Yeah. I guess for what it's worth, I played fiddle on this, so I overdid my fiddle part in that at Audiophile Studios. Well, tell you, getting into the subject of things, I guess I got that kicker line, through. It was a Thomas Friedman article about, it was I wrote the song in 2004, and it was like that year he had written a column advising the president at the time that look, we're not 9/11. In so many words, we're not 9/11. We're the 4th of July. That's not exactly what he said, but I got that idea and was able to finish the song.
Oh,
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah, and also I love that sort of opening where it talks about being like a lover, but we're just not getting along so well. I just, I think that's such a great way of putting it because sometimes a relationship with your country can be the same as with a person. It can be
Yeah.
fraught. You can love
Yeah.
them
Yep.
and still have like a lot of issues.
Totally.
It can still be
Yeah.
unhealthy.
That's what I find. That's what
Familial
I find.
relationships are hard.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, and that fiddle part is so perfect for it.
Thank you.
Uh, and I'd be curious, like, if you're coming up with a fiddle part for your own song, like, do you hear it like when you're writing a song because you play so much fiddle on other people's, or is that kind of like as you write it, you're like, oh yeah, I can hear the fiddle line going on in that, or is that something you just kind of play around with later?
That I kinda improvised.
Mhm.
Totally. It said that this line works. And I was kind of thinking like an Americana vibe on this,
Mhm.
like a Gillian Welch kind of, vibe on it.
Mhm.
So I was, and then, like Mark O'Connor,
Mhm.
kind of influence 'cause, he recorded, so many wonderful tracks on other people's songs and, in B flat and no matter what the key, he just, so I was just doing like an improvisation and like an air
Mhm.
uh, of how an air. Just figure out this would kind of work with this melody with this chord progression in this melody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, I also really like that, just that really tasty snare on
Mhm.
there. It
Yeah,
was, it just was just what was needed, and it made me wonder about your approach in general to arranging and production. Like, it sounds like you have thoughts. The song has this Gillian Welch vibe and Americana thing.
yeah.
Are you kind of is that part of your writing process where you're envisioning kind of a final product? How did you approach the instrumentation, very different from the first song to this one? What was the process like on this record?
Yeah, I sent the songs to Mike Barris, the drummer, and he can really rock and roll. He can rip, but then when it's a kind of an Americana thing, then he can find the brushes and make magic. He's just a tremendous musician. So that was also Mike Barris and Jim Markway on bass.
Mhm.
Okay, and are you pulling the
Yeah,
levers for every song, saying, I want this, I want that? How is that? Those
yeah.
decisions made?
Yeah, that's good. That's a good question because, and I found that production was hard, but yeah, I did have a vision, for the song, with that chord progression, and I figured that this song, yeah, Mike and I really discussed it. That he wasn't sure what kind of vibe, but he had a different idea, and I think I played for him, like Gillian's uh, Miss Ohio because
Mhm.
I kind of wanted that feel.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. Well, folks are loving it. Joni just chimed in to say that the song really does still stand up. And also want to give a shout out to Joe, who's joining us from Whitewater State Park.
Joe.
And I love the commitment, Joe, that you're like, I'm out there, but I might have a weak signal, but I'm going to join the party anyway. And that's what we love about the back catalog listening party is folks can join us from all over the place, from what their campsite to to eat both sides of the coast and everywhere in between. So thank you for joining us. And no matter how you're listening, if you're listening on the podcast or if you're joining us for in the live chat today, we really appreciate you being here. And if you like what you're hearing, it will sound even better if you get it on CD. If you get the high res files, you'll hear that snare. I mean, some of those details that you might or might not pick up on if you
Yeah.
are just listening to a streaming service or whatnot. So She still has CD copies. So Promised Land is available at ginaforsyth.com. You can also find tour dates, all that good stuff. So you'll want to get that CD. I'm just saying. And it's a great driving CD. So just putting it out there. So if you're someone who still has a CD player in their car, that's the way to do it.
I've been served up ads lately for new CD players.
Oh yeah, me too.
It's coming back, folks. You know, the physical media. I mean, it does sound better. I'm on the on the side of the broadcast where I get to hear the actual high resolution WAV files. And when you have really great songs, played by really great musicians on really great instruments, there really is something that kind of is bigger than the sum of the parts that you can really hear when you hear all the fine details. So I'm just going to second what Ellen said, that even if you don't have a CD player, I'm sure you could pick up the high-res digital files somewhere as well. And I really do hope that that's a sign of people's desire for the full listening experience coming back. I think we've all had our share of kind of crappy streaming sounds and are ready for some really high fidelity stuff.
I know. And I've been getting the same ads, Tony. Maybe it's just because we talk about, like, they're listening to us right now, talking about how great CDs are. But
targeting us. Yes.
But I agree. I think, and if nothing else, it's always, of course, important to buy merch from the artist whenever you can. So even if you don't have a CD player, buy the tickets, buy the albums, buy whatever the artists are selling, or you can just, throw something in that tip jar too. So the important thing is to support the artists that make the music, because all I know is, like, the songs we're hearing tonight are songs I really need to hear tonight. So and I want Gina to keep making these beautiful songs. So
thank you.
The world is a better place with your songs. So, well, we are going to dig into more of this record because it sounded so good. And this is a song you mentioned, so we want to make sure we get to this. Sparrows. Is there anything you want to say about it?
Well, it's kind of my spiritual go-to song. Sometimes I start my concerts with this song just to get the vibe. And this actually was recorded at Chris Polachek's at Say Yes Studios, and on a single mic, the vocal and the fiddle. It was live on a single mic.
Fantastic. I love it. Let's give it a listen. Get your earphones on nice and tight. Turn up your speakers. This is Gina Forsyth with Sparrows here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Wish I could fly like the smallest of sparrows, high o'er the earth and far from the ground. And all I would feel then would be the wings beating to gravity's ceiling. I'd never be bound. In some other lifetime, I was just like them, high o'er the earth, for one joyous day. With my wings open, I dove into silence, caught by the wild winds and carried away. Far from my wandering, far from my longing, far from this burden as I could go. One of these mornings I go like the sparrows, free from the sorrows of this world below. Now I am human and laden, longing and waiting to fly once again. Free from this burden, free from this hurting. One thing's for certain, free I'd be then. Free from my wondering, free from my longing, free from this burden as onward I go. One of these mornings I go like the sparrows, free from the sorrows of this world below. Free from my wondering, free from my longing, free from this burden that is for certain. One of these mornings I go like the sparrows, free from the sorrows of this world below.
Beautiful. Gina Forsyth with Sparrows. And the comments are lighting up. Christy says, yes, with 2 exclamation points.
Thank you. Thank you.
Apparently, we all need to free ourselves up a little bit today.
Yeah. And I think,
totally,
Chris,
totally.
Gina answered your question that she sang just into one mic at one time. So.
Yeah, that was totally live, but they did have to adjust a few things. I mean, I'm trying to remember. I think at one point we tried to separate it, and I think I just said, "Come on, I'll just do it live," and I was able to get it to where where my vocal could come through. And these days I sing that a little slower and a little differently than I did then. But yeah, I figured that the thing to do was just totally do that one live.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And the one mic and the execution of that makes me think maybe there's some old time music in your past.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about, the kind of influences that you had? I'm sure lots of diverse ones, but definitely heard some old time there.
Yeah. I grew up listening to a lot of old time string band music, fiddle tunes, and friends who played, especially interestingly, when I moved to New Orleans and I met some pickers. And then when I started commuting to Lafayette to play gigs or record, my friend Dirk Powell lived there at the time in Breaux Bridge, and of course he's a master old time musician.
Yeah.
And I was in a studio laying down a fiddle track. For a woman named Martha Scanlon, who's also a very fine writer. Yeah.
Minnesota connections there.
Oh, wow. No kidding.
Yeah.
So Dirk was producing her album, and I played a couple of fiddle tracks on the album. And I noticed this fiddle was cross-tuned. It was like GD. And I found that I could adjust it. I could be A-E, or like the guys in the Old Crow Medicine Show. And I could even go like in between A flat, E flat, A flat, E flat, in which that's what it was. I recorded about 4 different fiddle songs, and that was one of them. And they were all cross-tuned, other than 4th of July was in standard tuning. But the fiddle songs that I made were all cross-tuned. 2 were A flat, E flat, A flat, E flat. One was A E, and the other was G D.
The
Wow.
fiddle nerds are all, their ears are perking up right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And just before we close that thread, I'd love to know who your fiddle influences are.
Oh, wow. Well, of course, Kenny Baker, Vassar
Mhm.
Clements. I love, um, I just love to hear old time sounds. Of course, Old Crow Medicine Show. I love uh, Laurel Primo is one of my favorite fiddlers
Mm.
these days. And she does all kinds of tunings, but she also does electric guitar stuff as well. So I mean, of course, Cajun fiddlers, like
Mm.
Dewey Balfa
Mhm.
and Tony Thibodeau were Jono Frischberg, who plays accordion, is also a fine fiddler. So my friends are around me,
Nice.
all around me, who play fiddle. I've got,
Yeah.
and they're, mostly Cajun. And so that's definitely an influence on what I do.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Well, Susan chimed in to just say wonderful songs. Couldn't agree
Thank
more.
you.
And
Thank you.
again, you can pick up the CD. And also, again, check out Gina's tour schedule because you are busy
Yeah.
as always. So I'm curious. With these are all the songs we've heard are originals, even though that last one sounds like something dug out of something from
Mhm.
100 years
Yeah,
ago.
an old wax cylinder or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. But do you
Yeah.
write when you're on the road or do you write when you're at home? Do you anytime the muse strikes?
I write more when I'm home than I'm on the road. I think there was a song on the album that I did kind of write on the road, but mostly at home. Now the tune for Sparrows, I thought of in my 20s, and I think it was kind of influenced by an old bluegrass song, but I couldn't tell you which one. Uh, but it was a waltz. I listened to a lot of waltzes. I listened to a lot of Hank Williams growing up, and old hymns, and so I couldn't tell you where the song came from. But it was years later before I felt like there was a tune that there was a lyric that fit.
I love
Nice.
that. And I also love that it was that persistent. It's almost like, in the song, it's like, someone coming back, in a new form. And I feel like maybe the song was a little bit like that too. Just needed to take its full form later with the
Mhm.
lyrics. Well, beautiful stuff. And
Thank
this has
you.
been such a treat to chat with you. We're going to get to some more music. But before we do, I want to thank the folks that make this show possible
Yeah.
and all of its versions. Originally, we were a pandemic distraction
Yeah.
that we used to do live on YouTube and turned into a podcast. And it's all because of these folks who have supported the show and continue to support the show and value us all coming together to listen to music
Mm.
from all different parts of the globe. Penny,
Thank
Anna,
you.
Penny, Ann, Alinda, Bevan, Connie, Vaughn, Alan, Chris, Becky, Peggy, Joe, Jim, Beverly, John, Fred, Tim, Sarah, David, Jocelyn, Matt, Steve, Mark, Homestead Pick and Parlor, Severin, Lynn, Mary, Nikki, Joni, David, CJ, Wiley, Christy, Diane, Hetty, Sandy, Neighbor Ann BZ, Paul, Cynthia, Ross, Mike, and maybe you. If you'd like to join our Patreon community and support the show, you get invited to the live tapings. So if you're wondering, how did all these folks get to join the chat and
Yeah.
ask Gina questions? Well, if you join the Patreon, you get your invite to all of our live tapings and first look at all the guests and other cool stuff like that back catalog listening party pint glass.
Which you can start to see. You can start to see the logo now.
Awesome.
That Black Butte is
That's great.
slowly making its way down here. Yeah, and and it's like you were saying, it was a pandemic distraction. Like I still need this distraction every week. As we kind of were discussing, and boy, man, for an hour every week,
Yeah,
everything else
totally.
disappears, and I feel like I'm in touch with what matters. And it has everything to do with the music, the writers like Gina, and all of you like listening in at the same time, knowing that you're out there and that we're all doing this collectively. It matters. And it really does. It really is medicine to me every
And
week.
it's also the antidote for what Gina was talking about in the very first song we listened to, which is people feeling siloed, on their phones and in their own spaces. This is just one way we can sort of bring each other a little bit closer through something positive that we can all get behind. So patreon.com/back catalog listening party if you want to join the community. But you know what? We are just happy for your ears. So no matter how you've tuned in the show, we're happy that you are joining us because the party's more fun when you're here.
That's right. And if you're out there watching live and you have questions or comments for Gina, there's still time to get them in. So make sure you throw them in the real-time chat.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody who's donated. So thanks. Yeah. Thanks so much.
The Back Catalog Listening Party is brought to you by EFS Publicity. Founded by veteran publicist, promoter, DJ, and musician Ellen Stanley, EFS brings an artist's perspective to the table, working to help clients get to the next level in their career. Services include national and international media campaigns, radio promotions, tour press, crowdfunding, grant writing, and more. Get a quote or set up a consultation today at efspublicity.com. Well, we have time for, I don't know, do we have time for one or two, Tony?
I think we got time for two.
Awesome. Let's do it. I'm excited. Yeah. The next track they picked to feature is Lord Have Mercy. Is there anything you want to say about this one?
This is one that I wrote on the road, and it'll be pretty obvious. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Lord Have Mercy, Gina Forsyth here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
It's late in the night and I'm driving this highway. I'm sad and I'm weary, but I must drive on. If I can go on just a little bit longer, maybe, just maybe, I'll make it back home. Lord have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Lord have mercy on my soul. It's late in the night and my Lord, I am haunted by what I just saw by the side of the road. To think in one moment it all could be over. I look for a moment and then I drive on. Lord have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Lord have mercy on my soul. It's late in the night and I'm driving this highway, thinking about all the choices I've made. Now I am destined to search for redemption. Maybe, just maybe, I'll find it someday. Lord have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Lord have mercy on my soul. It's late in the night and I'm driving this highway on through the rain and the fog and the haze. So is it here in this world of confusion to tell right from wrong as we pass through these days. Lord have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Lord have mercy on us all. When ages have passed and the fog has been lifted, what do you think they'll remember us for? We did not hesitate and we read the newspapers and rattled our sabers for war. Lord have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Lord have mercy on my soul. Lord have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Lord have mercy on us all.
Gina Forsyth with Lord Have Mercy here on the Back Catalog Listening Party from her 2012 release Promised Land. Yeah, I can see why you might have written that on the road, not just for the lyrical content, but also like the cadence of the song. Like it feels like it's like you're singing it to yourself to keep going,
Yes.
I think we've all been there in those late night drives where you're like, come on, just got to get to that next place,
Exactly.
Or in this case, what I love about the song is that you brought it to a more metaphorical level. So it's like also getting to that next place on our life path or, or where we want to be in our country.
Yeah.
So I really, really love that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I was actually in the middle of Louisiana at of all places. I was playing with a Cajun with a pretty well-known Cajun artist at a mud festival of all things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, like a truck festival, like where they do all those big wheels and stuff. And there was this the chick before us was singing, I think, kid rock songs, like or on a karaoke or something. And I just felt the vibe. I was driving back to a hotel room, and I remembering the things I saw. I saw a car flipped over, and just stuff. And I finished it in the hotel room. that is one song I wrote on the road.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds great.
Yeah.
And I like your choice to do it a cappella like that. The way you sing it just has, there's so much like movement, and the way you sing it and the phrasing is so great. Like it's never, there's a rhythm to it, but it never feels like it's in the same place. It definitely has the movement to it, which is really neat.
Thank you. Yeah.
And yeah, your friend Paul chiming in here.
Yes,
And if any of you have any comments or questions for Gina, we only have a few minutes left. What? I don't know where the hour's gone. But let's try and get to this last tune, which is one that I know you wanted to make sure we get to, which is What I Did on Mardi Gras Day. And well, of course, I don't know if this song is going to answer that question, but or maybe that's not fit to tell. I don't know. Should we?
I worked too doggone hard. Come on.
Well, you did say there was a picture here that was related.
Yeah.
What are we looking at here, Gina?
So this is another of those middle of Louisiana kind of gigs. This was in Alexandria, Louisiana. There was a photographer who's no longer on this earthly plane, a guy named Charles Ward, who came and took a bunch of pictures. And this is a song that I pluck on the fiddle, and it was kind of, I use it for a show, and I do all kinds of fun things.
You're putting it behind your head there. For those of you listening to the podcast, yes, folks, she put the fiddle behind her head.
Very rock and roll.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I use it for a show. But I found that the cross tuning was just perfect for that.
And maybe that's something that happened on Mardi Gras Day.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it seems like a great way to close our hour here with Gina Forsyth. This is What I Did
Thank you.
on Mardi Gras Day here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Your story, but I'd rather not say what I did on Mardi Gras Day. Sing you something, but I'd rather not say how I spent my Mardi Gras Day. They call me up on the telephone. Would you like to make some money and have some fun? So while you're out there begging for beats, won't you please, please think of me? I'm working with a man that ain't on. My folky friends would be appalled. I tell you more, but I'd rather not say what I did on Mardi Gras Day. Ago, you could work down here for a whole lot more than tips and beer. Things around here changed, I fear. and the union ain't been here for years. Musicians union ain't there no more, so now you play till you hit the floor. And when you hit the floor, they don't miss a beat. They sweep you to the end of Bourbon Street. I tell you more, but I'd rather not say how I spent my Mardi Gras day. I wish I didn't have to say what I did on Mardi Gras day. Yeah, I wish I didn't have to say what I did on Mardi Gras day.
Oh, the live chat is blowing up on that tune. And I think it's
maybe I should have played that first.
Yeah, no, it's just the perfect way of ending the show. Folks just really digging the songs and stories, and yeah, and also I want to highlight Connie's comment in particular. It says a wonderful and hopeful show. So thank you. So I would agree with that. That I think sometimes it's enough to just know that you're not alone, and that we're all feeling lots of feelings, and that's okay. That's part of being human. And but certainly, it's my day has been brought way up after listening to these songs.
Yep, turned a corner. Thanks to you, Gina. Thank you so much for spending this hour with us.
Yeah,
I'm so glad to do that. Thank you for having me.
This record is great. Promised Land came out in 2012. And you can get a CD copy if you go to GinaForsyth.com. You can also check out her tour dates, and you'll want to do that. For some of our Minnesota friends, she'll be coming through here in the new year. So make sure to check the calendar for that.
Yes.
Well,
yes. So. I actually need to catch up with my website. So, so if you don't see it tonight, you'll see it in the next few days.
Excellent.
February 6th, Granite City, folks.
Great.
Awesome.
Well, we are so happy to get to catch up with you today, and look forward to seeing you in real life sometime soon. And until then, thanks to all of you for joining us. And whether, again, you're listening to the podcast or joining the live chat with us, it's so much better when you're here, when the party is hopping like this. And Paul's asking Boston. So apparently, and since folks are really tuned in from everywhere today to the show, I think the answer is you'll just have to keep an eye on Gina's website to see what she adds on that. But again, thank you all for tuning in. If you liked the show as much as we know you did.
Thank you, Mother Banjo. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Gina.
Make sure to like it. You can review the episode. You can share it with your friends, and you can subscribe to the podcast on whatever service you like to use. But the main thing is to support Gina and the artists that make this great music. And we do this every week. We drop new episodes with great artists revisiting one of their old records. So again, if you subscribe, you'll know you'll get pinged when the next episode drops. So, but until then, thank you so much, and keep listening to music.
All right. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for being here. See you next week on the Back Catalog Listening Party. Thanks for joining us on the Back Catalog Listening Party. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review, which helps more people discover our show and our guests.
And do you want to be a part of the live show, get a first look at upcoming guests, and receive invites to private online parties and live streams? Then join our Patreon community at backcataloglisteningparty.com.
Have a great week. We'll see you back here next Friday for another edition of the Back Catalog Listening Party.